Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, I had to get I'm sitting up here waiting for another hit to come through. I hope everybody's having a good Monday morning with their coffee. I was talking to my god sister earlier about this, and I wanted to add my 2 cents in this. So, me and my cousin was sitting up here looking at the news, and on the news, first of all, we don't really look at the news, but we just so happened to turn the channel, and it talked about, we saw these 3 young players from the UCLA, and they play ball, and we saw them on there apologizing about stealing from China. And me and my cousin looked at each other like, this gotta be a joke. This gotta be a setup. Are you kidding me? Are you telling me you about to be on the road as a professional NBA player? You play for UCLA. Y'all got money. Some of y'all got family members in the NBA. So you raised in areas with these huge $1 million homes, size 15, 16 shoes, wearing Jordans and all this other stuff. And y'all decide to go to China and steal something from Louis Vuitton? I said, nah, you gotta be kidding me. And I'm sitting here looking at these 3 young fools apologize. But the thing that got me is that the president of the United States of America gets involved, speaking to the president over there, like, on the phone, like, I know they messed up. Yeah, bring them on home. And I think one of their fathers kind of went off on I don't know if he went off on Donald Trump. But this is the thing. What's up with the youth? Because I would have never, first of all, nowadays, especially like the new position I'm going for, they're doing a huge background check on me. And they're even going when I was a juvenile. And some of the things that I did back in the day, like smoking marijuana and stuff like that, I have to be held accountable for it. So I couldn't imagine when somebody does a background check on these 3 fools. Y'all went to China. And yes, I do believe that people need to be forgiven. But there are people that can't even get home because they were over there preaching, reading the Bible, or they can't get home. Like that young boy, he stole a flag and they sent him home in a box. I'm just trying to understand here. Y'all got together and said, this is what we gonna do. We're gonna be big and bad and we gonna steal. First of all, when China looks at black people, it's not a lot of black people in China. So when they see black people, they already looking. So here you are, almost 7 feet tall, and you thought you was really gonna get away with that? And everybody like, well, Donald Trump didn't have to be. First of all, the first thing they should have thanked was God. And the second thing they should have thanked was Donald Trump. Okay? And then everybody else. Y'all sitting up here giving these sob stories. There is a man in North Carolina that's doing 60 years in jail because they said he stole a coat. 60 years. And yet, these 3 18, 19-year-olds old enough to know better decides that you put our country in jeopardy for some Louis Vuitton. For some Louis Vuitton. And everyone's like, well, what type of punishment do you think they should have? Well, I don't think they should be suspended, but I think they should bench them. No, they need to be expelled. That's what they need. They need to be expelled, and they shouldn't be playing basketball at all, period. You know how many other young men would like to be in their positions? Like when I was in school, you had to when I was cheerleading, you had to have a good grade point average. You couldn't get into trouble. And if you did something out of the line, out of the ball, if I was in cheerleading and went over to China and stole, I would have been kicked off of the squad, period. I don't understand this. It's like we are sitting up here. If this wasn't honestly, I feel like it was a setup. Like, this is fake. Because I'm like, are you kidding me? The president gets involved when you two Bammers know better. Y'all know better. Yes, and I do believe that kids have a right to be forgiven, but y'all need to do community service, and oh yeah, give up your jerseys too, because we got 3 other young men are over here that's not going to go and do some dumb, stupid stuff like that. And y'all sitting up here, I think they should do community service. They need to do community service. Your apology is not good enough. Because you could have been under the jail over there. You could have, first of all, how much did this cost? Who's paying for this? And yes, if y'all wasn't fast or enough to apologize, and how dare the father, I don't know if the father started going on Trump, but you didn't have pull like that to get your trifling son out of jail. I'm sitting up here, a lot of us did some of the stupidest things that we did when we were young, but I'm sorry, it was never on a scale like that. I would have never went to another daggone country and said, I'm going to steal. And you got money like that? It's people that's being held and don't got no home to go to. You going to a mansion. Your uncles, your aunts, your brothers, and all of them balling, and you telling me you didn't have enough money. I know y'all parents sent y'all overseas with at least 20 grand in your pocket. But you just decided, I'm big and bad. Could you imagine these youngins, they bragging like, yeah, we got off, man. The president just bailed us out. Shoot. Thank you, Donald Trump, because you could have just said, man, they did the crime, they need to do the time. Next, what else we got on the agenda? Because I guarantee you this, Barack Obama would have never said, please send these players home. And I don't care if Barack Obama knew how to play ball. That made the image look bad. And he's not going to be affiliated with nothing like that. This had to be, is this for real? Are we in the USA? I mean, and I just saw The View and Whoopi Goldberg, like that was the most stupidest thing you could ever do. I agree with that. But at the same time, she said for the president to have to get on the phone. Thank you, Donald Trump, for taking your time. And since you did that, can we look at all of the other people that's in jail doing 80 years for stealing a paperclip? And we sitting up here letting these fools off, and now they're supposed to be playing for a team, UCLA. They need to be suspended, revoked, go somewhere else, because you don't know how to uphold yourself. Yes, I do believe in forgiveness, but y'all, you really think you got it sweet. I let my fans down, and I let all the UCL members, and thank everybody that was with me. That's not good enough. Kick them off the squad. Kick them off the squad. Do your time. Where they're young, they're not going to get locked up. But it's a lot of other people, y'all. That's not fair. It's a lot of people that did stuff that's way smaller than that. This was a big international deal here. That it was way smaller than that, and they're doing time right now. Y'all just come home. What y'all supposed to be, a bunch of spoiled black boys, knowing where you came from, knowing that, first of all, a lot of people look at black folks like that's all we do is we steal, we thieve, and we on drugs. And here you 8-foot, Bigfoot, sailboats and shoes, decide to take your tails over to China and steal. You couldn't have known. Not my son. I would have been like, thank you. Thank you, Lord, Donald Trump. I would have been as a mother. I want to thank you so much for bringing my son home. Because we all know that that's unheard of for a president to step in the mix and bring their child home. I would have said, Donald Trump, you ain't even got to worry. You just need to pray for me so I won't take a rod and really go ham on my son, because there's no way you would take your tail overseas. I don't care if it's in the United States of America, but you were that dumb to go overseas and start stealing. This was real. And I think they showed a video where one of them act like he got a little cupcake. Y'all should be embarrassed. Y'all should be speaking to these young kids out here that's out in the streets stealing. And then everybody think they can get away with it because all they got to do is make one phone call to the president and bam, they back home. That is the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. And you know what? Evidently, it wasn't a hoax. It was all true. We got enough fish to fry out here. And you telling me these fools, they still playing basketball? Well, you know kids got a right to do whatever. Well, this is what they need to do. Give up your jerseys to young men that will go and play the game and uphold themselves in a respectful way, representing this country, that when you go overseas, anywhere you go, I don't care if you went to California or Maryland, that you know that you're not going to steal. Like, what are we teaching the youth these days? That it's okay that the president gets involved? But we saying, man, they just young. No, they need to lose it. Forget all of that. Just bench them. Man, snatch it away. Y'all didn't care. This was not that important to you. And it's people that got to do these major background checks for things that they did when they were young. Yes, when I was young, I was stupid. I wasn't. I mean, I made wrong decisions. But that right there was the most stupidest thing you could have done. But you're going to go and live a life now, a luxury, in a nice old mansion playing ball, knowing that your little simple tail went overseas and started stealing from Louis Vuitton. Isn't that name an American name? Louis Vuitton, isn't that in the United States of America? You just decided to go to China and steal a purse or some shades? Are you kidding me? And y'all supposed to be balling. Like, are you kidding me? And then your father sitting up there talking smack to the commander-in-chief? Yeah, he was right for saying I should have left y'all tails over there. Well, President Donald Trump, I thank you for taking your precious time out of your day to worry about these three fools. But I hope you also look at the people that are here in the United States of America doing 90 years for crimes they didn't even commit. Because these boys just got off. And for everybody to talk about, I think they should be suspended for about 2 months, maybe 6 months. No! They need to be expelled. Find another school. Matter of fact, you can stay in school, get your education. But far as them jerseys, get them off of the floor. Get them out. What's up with the sports these days? Football acting up now, basketball going crazy, and our youth thinking it's real cool to do the stupid stuff they did, and you gonna write yourself a daggone 2-page. You could have been underneath the jail, but it didn't happen that way. It's just that what type of example are we setting for the youth? What type of example is this? They need to be doing some voluntary services out here. If China didn't get it, then the USA should have said, oh, you're gonna have to pay this off, Slim. And ain't that much, I guess money will buy you out of a lot of stuff, man. It's people around the way that don't even get the second chances that these fools do. How do you be a soon-to-be professional NBA player playing for the UCLA? It ain't even like you playing for... What about them little boys that was in Chicago? And I was telling my god sister this. These little boys playing baseball, and everybody was trying to snatch their title away because they came from different neighborhoods. Yet they were able to go to China and present themselves well. You know what I'm saying? These little boys had to be in elementary, middle school. But you telling me college students... I can't. Let me calm down. So, and a lot of people that I'm listening to that you know, are getting in the ride, they like, well, you know, Trump didn't have to get involved. Let me tell you something. If that was my son or my daughter that decided to go take their simp tails over to China and did that, and the president got involved, not only would I be singing, shouting, hallelujah, thanking God, but I would be on the phone like Donald Trump. I would be before NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox News thanking this president that you brought my child home. And you need to pray for me because now you about to face mommy. There's no way. There's no way. I said to myself, I looked at my cousin and said, this is fake. This can't be right. 2017, and you got all of these. What's the percentage of all of these black men that are in jail, and you decide to go to China and steal? And why? Because I know you got like at least 10 grand in your pocket right now. I know daddy and mommy and your brother and cousins and them made sure you was good to go. Why? Why? What's Louis Vuitton to you? It was called I'm Big and Bad and Watch Me Do It. Well, guess what you did? That was the most stupidest thing that I could have ever did, man. I just want to thank my fans, and now I'm very close to the Lord. Good. And you need to be punished for that. And yes, granted, you're not in China, but some type of disciplinary action need to be taken just for them to get a slap or a pat on the back or you're forgiven. Now go ahead and play ball. That is not fair. That's not fair. There's a boy out here right now that got straight A's, that's sitting up here working his tail off, and he know how to cross, man. He know how to cross real good, and he's willing to play the game, and not only just play the game, but he's willing to uphold and make sure that people see that this is a respectable young man, that when he goes overseas, he would carry himself accordingly. How do we allow certain stuff like that? I don't care if they apologize. Okay, you apologize, but that's not good enough. You know, people here in the USA, when you go and steal, you don't just get an apology. You got to pay for certain stuff like that. Y'all did this not even just in, this was an American school. And, you know, everybody else may not agree with it. But that's stupid. Stupid. I'm sorry. I can't.